Hey everyone, this is Antonio from Buckeye Nation bringing you another war recap and perhaps our most exciting war to date. It was a really fun war. As you can see right now, we're a level 11 clan on a 16 war win streak. Our log's looking pretty green right about now. About to be a 17 war win streak. Haven't lost since the bans went out to some modders. So we just faced Red Onslaught. They are the main clan to Pink Onslaught. If you saw my last war recap, that was against Pink Onslaught, their feeder. So what we didn't mention, tried to keep things civil, was there was a lot of trash talk between clans after the matchup with Pink Onslaught. And their leaders wanted to match up with us. Initially, we said we would. Said that we needed a couple weeks just to get some of our members back and that we would match up with them. Apparently, they got a little bit too antsy and started sending spies over the very next day. So to spite them, we decided we didn't want to match with them. So we'll call this a semi-arranged war because we had no idea we were going to face them. We knew they sent another spy the following week, but we did not know, however, that he was a co-leader for their clan. So our intent was to flip him to our side, but clearly that wasn't going to happen. We beat them 85 to 80, so pretty handily. It was a 95% to a 91% overall. Let's see, their attacks. They actually brought in some ringers from other clans as well just to face us. As you can see, there's a handful of people missing from their clan now. And they're in random other clans now. Some of them are co-leaders in other clans, so it was pretty evident that they were ringers just brought in for the war. Their top did decent. They failed on a handful of our bases. You could see Solo Recon failed on a Town Hall 9.5 as a Town Hall 11, so I'm sure he was pretty embarrassed about that, coming back to his clan with that, but it is what it is. Decide I have to throw a little jab in there after all the trash talk. So let's go to them. I'm going to show the number 2 attack was by Luke Queenwalker of our clan. Pretty high percentage attack. He's our number 5 attacking their number 2. And he's going to start the attack with a Queen Walk at the 3 o'clock side, and he's going to bring it downward about 6 o'clock. So I'm going to fast forward a little bit. And he drops his troops in pretty quick at the bottom. They weren't able to take out much on the 6 o'clock side, unfortunately, but he is still able to funnel them into the core pretty well. He's going to use a Go Valk attack with the Queen Walk, and as you can see pretty early on, the healers actually run away from the Archer Queen, which looks like it could be pretty devastating at first, but after they start following the Valkyries and the Warden on the left side, or on the bottom side, he actually gets a pretty decent amount of percentage just from that as well. So it turned out a pretty good attack, even though the healers wandered off on him. They're just going to get mostly exterior junk right over here, so I'm just going to fast forward a little bit. He used 2 jumps to get through the core with the Valkyries before they sort of fizzled out at the end. Great attack by Luke. So next, we had another 2-star by Luke. Next attack I'm going to show is Apollo. He attacked their Town Hall 10.5, and he had a pretty solid attack here. He's going to start with the Queen Walk on the 9 o'clock side here. Fast forward a little bit. He's going to have to rage her. She's taking some hits from that Expo that's set to ground mode. So as you can see, he drops, I'm going to slow it down. He drops his Warden, his King, and the Wizards to clear ahead first before the Clan Castle comes out. And then he hits the Eternal Tomb on the Warden as soon as the Golem that's inside the Clan Castle pops. Golems have become great for clan castles against Valkyries, mass Valks, because their damage when popping is about 550, which is 2 giant bombs. So he drops 2 jump spells, and he's going to be able to get his Valkyries to separate. And luckily those healers came back to his Archer Queen, and from here he just tears this base up. Once he has the healers on the Archer Queen, the base just essentially has no chance. So I'm going to fast forward a little bit. Very well executed attack. I'm going to show the attack on Jim Bob a little later in war. It was a very good attack as well. And he had a really tough base. Really fun base too. Very great, very good design. So here's an attack from our leader B80 on a Town Hall 9.5 with an extra expo. He's going to go with a pretty heavy on the Valks. Starts off with, where's his AQ walk? I forgot it was up top. And he's going to start swinging it downward. So you can see he misdropped the wall breakers. He waited too long, and he didn't bring it ahead of the Archer Queen, which was a mistake. But he fixed the pathing by dropping some loons over to the side here where there is no air defense, which was very smart. And now as the cannons, Teslas are focused on the Golem over here and the Barbarian King, you can see the balloons are coming over and able to help them out. So he's going to rage through the core here. Well, not really the core. The exterior of the base takes out the Archer Queen. And there's a loon floating around, which is not great for Valkyries, but he does have a heal, which heals him up pretty well. So you see now the Archer Queen no longer has any healers following her. So she is at risk of damage, but a couple rages and he's just going to get through this base without too much difficulty. Did come a little close to the wire on time, I believe, on this one, however. So I'm going to fast forward a bit. Very good attack. At Town Hall 9, it's probably a little better to use more heal spells. At Town Hall 10, when you have higher HP on your Valkyries, the rages just destroy bases. It is crazy how fast they can tear through a base when a rage is on them. So we took out that base. I'm going to jump down. We had some 9.5s taking out their 9.5s. So I'm going to jump to, let's see, 16. Probably alone. He is one of our Town Hall 9s. And he had a pretty solid attack. So with the base here, you can see there's a high probability that there could be some Teslas in the core here, along with some double giant bombs that will be pathed by hogs. So he's going to take his Archer Queen on the 7 o'clock side here, and he's going to get into the base here and try and take everything out with her. He uses the hog to try and get ahead, and not only does it take out one of the giant bombs, it pulls out the clan castle here. So he pre-drops his poison spell and then rages ahead of time so that his AQ is not at risk, and comes towards the Barbarian King at the same time, the poison spell helping it out in that manner as well. So she's going to start tearing through this bottom portion. As you can see the Golem over here on the left, he paused a little bit on dropping Wizards and Valkyries to back it up. Starting to expose some of the defenses, some of the Teslas that are popping up right now on the bottom side. So now he's going to wall breaker in onto the 9 o'clock side and funnel in towards it. With only 1 or 2 defenses attacking the Archer Queen at a time, he's at basically no risk right now. This whole attack, I believe he only exposed one of the giant bombs, so I assume they're hidden in the center here between the 2 Teslas right here that popped up in the middle, but I don't know where the 4th one is at, or 5th one. Now he's going to drop a couple hogs to back it up, and he's not going to come across any more giant bombs, as his king up top here is taking out the archer queen. So great attack by Alone. He was one of our new members in war as well. Next up we have Herma Heckbarn, another new member we added. He's our number 23. And why I'm showing this attack is it shows to never give up on your attack. He's going to have an AQ fail as he tries to walk her on the south side. I believe he starts at 9 and brings it down towards 6 o'clock. There it is. Unfortunately, the AQ gets taken out pretty early on. But what you can learn from it is that you don't give up on an attack. Not only is it possible that you could still succeed in the attack, but it's great to help out future attackers. It'll reveal Teslas, it could reveal giant bombs, or even something simple like the placement of a spring trap. That could change an attack as well. So he's going to use his ability on the AQ before the rage, which I do not recommend except for in rare circumstances. And that's partly going to be his downfall here. So I'm going to fast forward a little bit. He's going to get inside, and this loon is just going to drop on him, and he's over. He doesn't give up on the attack, as I mentioned, and he's going to start funneling his Valks inward towards the AQ, and he's just going to pray that it works out. So you see a dragon's going to pop out that wasn't revealed earlier, but the poison spells are actually going to do some serious work on it, along with a couple wizards that are at the south side still. Fast forward a little bit. He's going to rage through, and he's going to start dropping his hogs on this side. It's pretty unlikely that they would have a double giant bomb right here in the middle, but the Valkyries exposed it because no one wants to have double giant bombs on the perimeter there. So it's pretty wise of him to place his hogs on the corner where he did. His healer is fallen behind his hogs, giving a little extra health. Unfortunately, those skellies are doing a little bit of damage on him. So I'm going to fast forward, and it's going to ultimately be his BK and Valkyries that save the day for his attack. Next up, we have Awesome Kid, which I just call AK. Refuse to call him Awesome Kid. And he's going to have a very nice attack here. He's going to funnel with minions, as you can see here. There's mortar here on the 3 o'clock side. Obviously cannot attack air troops, so it's very smart of him to start dropping some minions. They're able to take out some of the exterior trash, and it's able to do a little bit of damage on the mortar. He was probably hoping that it could get in on that mortar, maybe take it out as well, but was unable to. So also you're going to see he double drops poison spell here, which, since the clan castle troops have nowhere else to go except for that exact path, beeline towards the archer queen, that was very smart placement, because if the wizards were able to fire all at once on the archer queen, and he only dropped one poison spell, there's a chance the archer queen would have died there. And now he's going to drop some hounds and does an air raid off of it, which we rarely see anymore with the emergence of Valkyries. So this was a very good attack, pretty smart placement. I think he clumped up his loons a little bit too much on this attack, but still a great attack. And now you can see the new hound right there, level 4 hound coming through. And he's going to rage on the outside. I don't agree with that rage location as well. I think it was too far on the outside, so it's not going to be able to help him much. I'm a little bit more for using some haste spells on the inside, but still gets the job done. And he's able to wrap up the space with only an air troop, or with only an air defense left. He's in good position to take out this base just with his heroes. So great attack by AK. I'm going to bring you down a little further. Mama Yisa had 2 3-stars, good attack. But I'm going to show you the second one by him. I think was a little better of an attack. So he's going to use a Queen Walk as well. He uses 3 healers. A lot of people use 4 healers, and his Archer Queen is a little bit lower on level. But as you can see, there's only a handful of defenses that could hit it at a time. Usually only 1 defense is hitting it at a time. The Wizard Tower doesn't do enough damage to seriously hurt her. So 3 healers is actually a good choice with all that extra space used for essentially 2 Valkyries, not quite 2 Valkyries. She's going to walk the perimeter of the base here. He used the EQ on the center, the core of the base, and his Valkyries are going to have a field day with that once they all meet up here. So right now he's using the funneling process, a handful of wizards with the single golem down south to get his Valkyries to go right inside and go through the whole base, right through the core. They have nowhere else to go, so that's a great funnel by him. Now he has the Archer Queen as well for support, and the healers left the Archer Queen and are now following the Golems and the Valkyries here. You see a Pika come out, but it has no chance against a handful of Valkyries there. The Loon is the only problem right now, but the Wizards over here up top are able to take it down without too much hassle or annoyances by it. He drops a handful of hogs on the left side here. Highly unlikely there could be any, giant bombs that would get in the way over here. Just the spring traps are a nuisance right now, but does a pretty good job right over here. Healer's back on the Archer Queen, and he's just going to knock out this base. So great attack. So now I told you I was going to wait on this top one here, number 7. Why I'm doing that is because, of course, I have to do a little bit of self-promotion. We had a Town Hall 11 attack it, perhaps even 2 Town Hall 11s attack it, and the base doesn't have extremely high defenses. It's just the layout is pretty exceptional on the base. So what people are working away from is any air-like attacks. So I thought you could actually work, especially with the new Hound now and the new Loons. Unfortunately, I don't have them. I'm only at 9.5. But I used my attack. This is one of the final attacks in the war. We only had a couple Town Hall 11s left. It was looking like we were going to win the war, but they still had a chance to close out some of our bases at the end here. So everyone was dropping, let me see here. Everyone was dropping their Archer Queen and going down south along this perimeter here. And I decided to go along here and try and funnel her inside, where I took out the Inferno over here that was also a nuisance for people. Which this worked out great. Unfortunately, I have extremely low heroes, and this attack would have been successful if I remembered that I had a haste spell and had a lot more time. Obviously, you only get 3 minutes, and I would need a lot more time than 3 minutes to knock out this base. I would have still been able to, but it doesn't matter. My point of this attack is that even if you're a lower account and you're highly unlikely to 3-star a base, say you're Town Hall 9 attacking Town Hall 10 or 11, it's always good to try new techniques instead of just a simple scout with like a go wipe or a go ho. Trying different techniques can really help out your attack or provide guidelines for your upper attackers in war and show them what they can do for it. So Seki took this base after me, and he didn't follow the air layout that I did, but he did use the same queen walk. He lightning struck the Inferno, and then did have his kill squad go down this valley here. Previous to this attack, everyone was using Go Valk pretty much of our Town Hall 11s. They would go right down this valley, and then 2 Infernos would be hitting them at once. There's a bunch of giant bombs in the valley here, right down the center, and it was just detrimental to the Valkyries that were going through there. So I decided to take out the left half with an Archer Queen, and then use a loon a Hound drop, and followed up with some loons over here. Like I said, I forgot the haste spell that I had, which would have brought the loons to the Inferno and then the air defense over here a lot quicker. But it doesn't matter. So it did help out Seki on the next attack. We call him Seki, but his real name is right here. Can't really pronounce it. So, like I said, he's going to follow up and use the minion drop I did over here, queen walk in the same spot, and lightning strike the AD, followed by a kill squad down the core, just like I did, only he just went with a heavy kill squad followed by the Grand Warden, and it worked out great for him. He was able to take out this base that had surprising difficulty for not having that high of defenses. Got to give it to Jim Bob for the layout. I don't know if it's his own. If it is his own, that's a great layout. Sorry it's being exposed right now. But great attack by Seki. So, that's going to conclude our war recap. If you learn anything, if you're going to hunt, you better be sure you're going to win the war. That's my